Hello, welcome to Just Ride Bikes. David here with two of the most state-of-the-art saddles I've ever seen in my life. They're both 3D printed saddles, one from Fizik and one from Specialized. They look radical, they look really funky, but are they any good? What are they like to use? And are they worth the rather high price tags that both command? Well, in this video, I'm going to share my experience of both saddles after several months of riding. So let's dive in. These are two of the main contenders in the 3D printed saddle market. So we have the Fizik and versus Evo R1 adaptive saddle here. This one with carbon rails retails at £299. There is a version with alloy rails for £250 available. And then we had the brand new Specialized S-Works Roman Evo mirror, which retails for £390 with full carbon rails. Now, Specialized did launch a power version of this design about 2 years ago, and I did review that, and I'll put a link to that review down below. But this is brand new, and this is really relevant because the saddles are very similar, as you can see. Very similar length and very similar width as well, so it's worth really comparing these two saddles, because if you're looking at this one or this one, you're probably looking at the other as well. When it comes to measurements, they are very similar. The Fizik is 274mm long, while the Specialized is a tad shorter at 260mm. They both come in two width versions, and these are both the wider versions. 149 for the Fizik and 143 for the Specialized, so very, very similar. The saddles do look very, very similar, don't they? And that's no surprise, because they are made by the same US company called Carbon. This Silicon Valley based company has developed their own 3D printed technology, and watching the printers in action is like watching something out of a sci-fi movie. Quite incredible to watch. So the company uses a special polymer material that's printed layer by layer, and the benefit is you can create really complex honeycomb or lattice structures, as you can see, which you couldn't do with foam or gel. The big advantage over foam or gel is you can customize this lattice or honeycomb structure to have it softer or firmer where you need more or less support in the saddle. It's a really complex looking saddle as well, and Specialized actually claims 22,000 struts and 10,700 nodes in the construction of this new saddle, which is quite staggering. And no, I haven't counted to verify them. I'll probably be here all day if I did count them. And that construction process gives two saddles that look very similar, but there are some key differences. And the first one you can see is the cutout or the channel down the middle of the saddle. Here on the Fizik is a very distinctive, quite deep channel, but with the base exposed. There's no hole in the bottom of the saddle there. So very distinctive looking saddle, basically two halves joined onto a base. While on the Specialized, it's very different because you have the webbing going across the saddle, but with a shallower, softer channel down the middle, and then the base has a hole in the middle for the 3D structure to kind of poke through if you push it hard enough. So a complete covering of that special lattice material. So the weight on the scales for both these saddles isn't amazing for the money. It's not that good really, but you're not really buying these saddles for the weight. There are lighter saddles that use a different construction, like a full carbon fiber construction, but these are all about comfort. So let's talk about comfort of these saddles. So as I mentioned in my intro, I've been riding these saddles for the last couple of months. I was just come back from a week in Nice where I was using this new Specialized saddle, and the main thing for me, the real noticeable difference when I put either saddle on my bike compared to a normal foam or gel saddle, is that at first it feels very soft and squidgy, and it's that kind of soft flat rear tire feeling at first, but that soon fades away and you're left with this immense feeling of comfort and support, which lasts really a long way into a long ride, much further than a normal saddle in my experience. And a week riding in Nice, 7 days on the bike, I would normally expect some discomfort 2 or 3 days after being on the bike every day. But with this saddle, I had no discomfort at all. I didn't even have to reach for any chamois cream to make sure I was comfortable on the bike day in and day out. So comfort is noticeable straight away when you first put it on compared to a normal saddle, and it's that level of support that doesn't diminish or fade away after 4 hours, 6 hours or 5 days on the bike. that really does stand these saddles out compared to more conventional saddles. You have the feeling that you're sat on a cushion of air and there's no hot spots and no pinch points compared to a foam saddle. So it really is another level, another layer of comfort in my experience compared to regular foam saddles. But are these saddles any comfier than regular foam saddles using the same shape and design? And that's a tough question to answer, and if one I've been going back and forth on trying to decide where I am on the comfort of these compared to normal saddles in making this video. And I think the answer is yes, they are comfier than regular saddles. And for me, by a noticeable margin. It's not a game changer, it's not a night and day difference, but for me, I can definitely feel and appreciate the difference this technology brings to saddle comfort. Now, it's really tricky recommending saddles and choosing saddles because what works for me might not work for you. And while the technology is definitely very impressive and definitely moves comfort to another level, what's really important is shape, the width and length, and whether that works for you or not. And there are loads of different shapes on the market for that reason. But if you are having problems with your current saddle, this technology might be a way to alleviate those issues. But if you're fine with your current saddle, you might not see any reason to upgrade. I've also been wondering whether these are worth the quite high price tag they command. And I know going back to a normal saddle on a test bike tomorrow, I'll be just fine on that bike. I won't have any comfort issues because I know what saddle worked for me, and I'm fairly flexible when it comes to being on different bikes and different saddles over years of testing bikes. There are a few saddles I can't get on with, but generally I'm pretty good on most saddle shapes. But I know riding that normal saddle tomorrow on that test bike, at the back of my mind, I wish I was on one of these because the comfort is that much better. The other added benefit of this design, in my experience on my local quite rough roads, is how they offer extra cushioning and extra suspension for dealing with rough roads. And they definitely have a bit more give and they bounce back better than a foam saddle. What foam saddles tend to do sometimes is kind of pack down, but these don't pack down, they sort of let you squish down a bit, but they hold you on that cushion of air and there's quite a bit of rebound. And this one is actually tuned so it's softer at the back, firmer along the middle. So the cushioning effect from these saddles is fantastic. So it's not only the way your sit bones and your body sat on the saddle, but it's how it's helping to cushion out rough roads and give you a smooth ride. So that's another less advertised benefit of this 3D printed technology design. But are they worth the money? And I guess, would I buy one of these saddles with my own hard-earned money? That's a really tough question. I mean, they are a stonking load of cash. And while I love the comfort they offer, and I definitely appreciate the extra comfort over a normal saddle, and I love the looks of them, it's still a lot of money. It really is a lot of money. I just bought a brand new transporter, so I'm skint. But while these are definitely the bleeding edge of saddle design right now, as with most things, the prices will come down. These are already discounted on Fizik's own website, and I'm sure Specialized, as Specialized always does, will try to bring this down to a lower price point. So if we get a saddle at 200, 250 maybe, then I think I'll put my hand in my pocket and buy one. But at £400, I'm not sure whether it offers enough benefit over a normal saddle for me to take the plunge. But at half price, yeah, then we're talking. I've had loads of questions asking what these saddles are like to clean and keep the mud out, and don't they fill up with mud? But here's the thing with holes, the mud goes in, then the mud comes out again. So you don't actually fill up with mud when you are riding on roads covered in mud or riding in the rain. So they stay clean. As you can see, after several months of riding, they're both very clean, very fresh. And when you wash your bike, you blast it with a hose pipe and any mud or dirt in there just washes out. So keeping them clean is fine, not a problem at all. And a question on durability. As you can see, after several months of riding and several thousand kilometers, they both look really good. I've had no issues around the integrity of the structure on this Fizik here, neither with the Specialized. So for me, long-term testing so far has been very good, but I'll keep riding them as long as I can to really see how long-term durability stands up. And finally, which saddle out of these two would I choose if push comes to shove? And this is something I've agonized and gone back and forth on. And for me, I think it's going to be the Specialized. The Specialized takes it by a whisker, but it's very, very close. I'm very happy on both saddles. I think for me, it comes down to the channel. We have a softer, smoother channel on the Specialized with more cushioning there because you've got that cutout in the bottom where you have quite hard edges, and you don't really notice the hard edges, but I prefer the smoother, softer edges on the Specialized, and that really is the main difference between the two saddles. Right, there we are then, my review of two bleeding edge, cutting edge, 3D printed technology saddles and my thoughts on riding them for the last couple of months. If you've got any questions that I haven't answered, do put them down below. I'm happy to help as best I can. And do let me know what saddle you're currently using and if you're in the market for a new saddle and what you're looking for in a new saddle. More comfort, customization, weight, love to hear from you as always. But that's all for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again very soon.